This is the BBC.
Hi, I'm Nick Robinson. So what the heck am I doing on the Comedy of the Week podcast?
Well, that's probably because I'm here.
Of course, Armando Nucci, comic genius behind the day-to-day, Alan Partridge, the thick of it, and Veep, and now the death of Stalin, is this week's guest on my podcast, Political Thinking with, you guessed it, Nick Robinson.
So it's going to be funny, is it?
Oh, and political.
All right. Oh, good. Yeah, because and you're going to be funny in it because I'm not.
Oh, really? Oh, well, you get Political Thinking with Nick Robinson and...
Me.
him, Armando Nucci. Subscribe wherever you got this from.
Hi, hello, namaskar, and hey. Nice to have you back. I'm Sindhu Vee, and this is Comedy of the Week, which you know because you're here. And in case you didn't know, well, just stay, because seriously, of all the things you could put in your ear right now, this is by far the best. Also, I can guarantee 100% less messy than all the other possibilities. Now, here's a little tidbit, or as my mother calls it, titbit, which really is something quite different and not to be explored here. Tidbit, yes, a small tidbit for you. I hate museums. Oh my gosh, so boring. Ugh, let it go, people. It's in the past. As a kid, I was forced to go, didn't have a choice. And even as an adult, I can't avoid them altogether because, well, A, you date people who like them. You don't date them for very long. B, I have kids. And you know, rite of passage, I gotta force them to go. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So here's what I do to cope with the experience. I always get the audio guide and then switch to a language I cannot fathom at all. I say that because, not to brag, but I can speak 3 languages and understand sort of 5-ish. So, yeah. Anyway, find a language I literally have zero intuition about and then go through the museum. Always so satisfying and hugely entertaining. Which is exactly how I would describe this week's comedy pick, Joseph Morpurgo's walking tour. In this episode, he takes us through the wilds of Yosemite National Park. Like every audio-guided tour of mine, I'm really not able to answer any questions about who or why or when, but some very funny phrases have lodged in my mind forever. And I'm left feeling, wow, that was mental, but way better than the real thing. Which I know because I've been to Yosemite, or as my mother calls it, Yosemite. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and get ready for Joseph Morpurgo's walking tour.
Hello, and thank you for choosing this portable audio guide. You're standing in California's iconic Yosemite National Park. This guided walk will lead you, step by step, along the park's stunning nature trail. So, when you're here,
walk right.
You know what to do. Welcome to nature. No nurture allowed. There's an old ranger saying around these parts.
Rain at 7, fine by 11.
So expect a safe and sunny stroll. Oh, and we're running a special competition today. So if at any point you hear this sound in your headphones, then congratulations. You've won a gift shop voucher.
Head along the track for 10 metres.
To your left is sheet moss, known in Latin as Hypnum curvifolium, or in patois as Dimmer Hoogpandibark. Here's moss expert Tanya Brissing.
Moss is, in lots of ways, a superior material to silk. It's softer, stronger, and it hasn't been pulped out of a spider's jacksie.
Tanya and I actually dated for a couple of years, but it didn't work out. To your right, you'll see a cluster of loganberry bushes. Are they edible? Well, there's an old rambler's saying.
If the berry be plump and a speckled of stump, then the juice it shall be supping. But if the juice in the berry, then the juice in the then it be sick.
Clear? And there's more to this bush than meets the eye. Here's Dr. Mark Rigby.
It's large and green.
Continue along the trail.
Yosemite is known for its biodiversity. here's a little ditty to help you remember every tree species on offer.
Well, there's oaks and there's yews.
It's quite a limited selection. This particular yew here has a tale to tell.
It's large and green.
Turn right and probe the glade.
Peer around the majestic glade. The bird-dappled branches are rich and colourful, like a rainbow having an aneurysm. Gaze up at the blazing winter sun. Keep gazing. Keep gazing. You're now blind.
Stagger around ineptly in some unknown direction. Turn right. Or is that down? Start to panic.
And your vision's returned. Uh-oh. It looks like you've wandered off the trail. Not to worry. Just take out your map and... You've dropped your map in the creek. Dangle in your compass to snag it out. Your compass has fallen in the creek. Hook them both with your emergency flare. You've just spaffed your flare down a bog hole.
Right. Turn left. No, that's right as in right. Right? Onwards. No, right. Come on. No, turn right. No, I mean turn right.
You've been walking for 6 hours. Take your mind off the rising anxiety by observing the cluster of aphids at your feet. It's mating season, and these little critters have a, shall we say, unusual mating ritual. The male unsheathes his razor-sharp insemino prong and thrusts it through the eyeball of the poor female before a sort of blistered hoover nozzle, that iconic scene from Ghost.
Continue north.
Just to the left, you'll see bear tracks. Don't panic. Unless provoked, wild bears can be surprisingly docile. Here's zookeeper Susie Henley.
So this little cub on my leg here is called Bella. She's 18 months old and she's a gentle, fun... Bella? Bella, come on now. Jesus Christ!
Take a seat on the stump and let's try and get you back home. Sorry, I'm just going to turn that down. Get you back home before sundown. In the absence of a paper map, let's use an audio map. This beep is where you are. This beep is your destination. And this sound is your route. The pitch represents direction of travel. The contrapuntal clicking is the gradient of the terrain. And scale is denoted by the throb rate of the drone tone. Press 1 to give up hope, or 2 to power on in vain. You've selected 2.
Hack through the bracken. Keep going. Just keep hacking through the undergrowth. Notice that it's getting dark. Go back 6 hours and do things differently.
Not possible. Salve your surging terror by looking to your left, where you'll find some more moss.
Cushion moss is known as barkbeard, pube of the yew, or according to the porn star name generator, burdock pea wet thistle.
Sorry. It's honestly really good to hear her voice again. You know, sometimes you throw yourself into your work and you don't know what you're missing. And turn left and...
Freeze in your tracks.
That's a bear howl. Did you know that being attacked by a bear is the most painful thing imaginable? Listen to this piercing frequency. It's like this, but 10 times worse. Let's find some shelter.
Clamber inside the trunk.
We'll hide here for the night. For advice on making a shelter, press 1. Or, for 120 minutes of acorn facts, press 2. You've pressed 2. No, you can't change it. You pressed it. You made your bed. Now lie in it. The history of the acorn is as old as time. 3 in the morning. It's -6 degrees. But don't worry. The human body is surprisingly resilient. Here's Dr. Christina Hendry.
The odds of survival in that environment are basically 0, which will lead...
Doesn't matter. Look in your sock for fragments of toe cheese. A luxury from the larder. Close your eyes and try your best to sleep.
Open your eyes.
You're in a warm and comfortably furnished log cabin, pleasantly lit by the glow of the fireplace. To your left, your butler, holding up a toasty, spiced cider.
As you requested.
And to your right, a roiling jacuzzi, scented with fragrant oils.
Slip into the warm bubbles.
Close your eyes as rose petals gently fall on your forehead. One petal, then another, then...
Wake up.
A raccoon is crapping on your face.
Stagger weakly to your feet.
You slept like a log, rough, broken, and penetrated by earwigs. Now might be a good time to get your affairs in order. Press 1 to appoint me as executor to your estate. And you'll need an epitaph. Use the button on your console to spell it out in Morse code. Your epitaph reads, Fluzandsquark.
Scour the ground for food.
Sprouting to your left is a red-spotted mushroom. Is it edible? Well, there's an old Rambler saying.
I don't know.
Take a bite. Most natural fungi are completely safe, although a few contain psychoactive chemicals, which can warp your sense of time, space, and reality, causing you to feel confused, disoriented. This should cause your synapses to flare and create feelings of... You're lying in a clearing. You've been tripping for 4 days. The only things protecting your modesty are clusters of ticks and a primitive dock leaf negligee. In your left hand is an acorn, which you've endowed with human foibles and now consider a dear friend. Press 1 to give up, or 2 to power on. That's the spirit. Choose to live, to feel the wind, the grass, the warm sun on your skin.
Turn around.
In front of you, you'll see the lucid beauty of the dawn.
Turn around.
A vista of elegance as dandelions scatter the air.
Turn around.
And you'll see a bear.
Dive into the bushes.
And stay as quiet as possible. It's imperative you make no sounds whatsoever. You've won a gift voucher. Right, it's urgent, and it's running directly through. You'll need to follow my instructions clearly, okay? Wait for it, wait for it. And punch it on the nose. Sorry, play dead. I was thinking sharks, sorry. You're lying in the mud, bloodied and broken. Look down at your septic arm.
It's large and green.
As the spirit ebbs from your shattered body, take a moment to enjoy your life flashing before your eyes.
My beautiful baby.
You are a credit to this school.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
You've just spat your flare down a bog hole. In front of you is a light.
Go forward 8 steps.
Just to your left, you should see the planes of consciousness slowly dissolving away.
Forwards.
At 3 o'clock, an energy welcoming you, beckoning you.
Forwards.
As you shed your form, step into the endless all. Thank you for taking this tour of Yosemite National Park. If you enjoyed it, why not try one of our multi-faith guides to the afterlife? Or alternatively, one of our stately home tours, but as a ghost.
Float through the wall into the gift shop.
Goodbye. And thanks for listening to this guided audio Excuse me. Sorry, we're recording an audio guide in here.
Joseph.
Tanya? You came back.
I needed space. I had a lot of thinking to do.
How's the moss treating you? Dimmer Hoogpondie.
How's Melanie?
She's not you. Look, I should be
I wanna rub my through your sopping tusk, gunk furrow, and
See you soon for our next guided audio walk.
come here.
Ooh.
A raccoon, you know whatting on your face. Ha ha. That is just too funny. Can't get that out of my head. When I went to Yosemite a few years ago, we really wanted to see a bear. But they are so hard to see. It was a nightmare. We became so obsessed that we began to see them everywhere. Oh, look there, look. Oh, that's a goat. Oh, look. Shh, look there. Oh, that's a goat. There were a lot of bear-like goats, to be honest, and a lot of disappointment. So we just comforted ourselves by calling goats bears. Yeah, like, oh my God, we saw 7 bears today. Amazing. What? Got a bit complicated, though, because my third child, aka #Kid3, was a toddler. And she came back, went to nursery, and started talking about Goldilocks and the 3 goats. Some of the other little kids got confused. There was a disagreement. 2 punches got thrown, blah, blah, blah. But it's all fine now. We went and explained to the teacher how we spent the summer calling goats bears to make the kids feel like they were getting something out of being in Yosemite. I think she got it, sort of. Anyway, it's all fine now. Kids, huh? Yep. Anywho, that's it for this week's Comedy of the Week podcast. Use #Comedy of the Week to let us know how much you are loving this, to spread the word, and subscribe, review, do all the things you know you have to do with this podcast. You can listen to the other 3 walks in this series, which guide us through the East End, the Louvre, and Dante's house on BBC Radio 4. Catch episode 2 on Wednesday, November 29 at 11:15 p.m. or listen via the BBC iPlayer radio app. Oh, and one last thing about Yosemite. It has the famous Horsetail Fall, a seasonal waterfall that flows in the winter and early spring. And if the conditions are just right, the setting sun illuminates the waterfall, making it glow a perfect, come on, you know the answer, orange. Yosemite's orange waterfall. Until next week, be well and keep laughing.